In the fall of 1873, Shreveport was struck with what is reported to be the third worst epidemic of yellow fever in United States history. Between late August and early November, the city lost 1/4 of its population, and counted among the dead were 5 Roman Catholic priests and 3 sisters of the Daughters of the Cross who gave their lives in selfless sacrifice for other people. And it is them that we want to remember. It's them that we want to learn to model our own lives after. Greater love has no man than he who would lay down his life for his friends.
We're standing here in Holy Trinity Church and have a beautiful stained glass window that mentions Father Jean-Pierre's name. He was the first pastor of Holy Trinity. This is actually the 3rd church, but he was here and was one of those whom we consider a martyr. I mean, the word martyr in Greek, it is a word that means one who gives witness, one who bears witness. And these were people who bore witness with their lives. He showed up here from a different part of Louisiana, came up here, founded the community. He was a person who did his best to teach other people here in this city, most of whom were not Catholic, by the way, and he would get the money in order to set it aside so as to build the new church and to fund the operations, the ministries, and even take care of the poor of the city of Shreveport. He was quick to assist the people here in this city, not because they were Catholic, but because he was Catholic. He knew he had to take care of those who were ill, and so we're unbelievably fortunate to have someone like Father Jean-Pierre, who died in the yellow fever, but someone we can still look to as a model, and asking the Lord himself to help us bear witness to him.
On the evening of September 18th, 1873, Father Louis Guergaud from St. Matthew's in Monroe boarded a stagecoach for Shreveport, having heard about the horrific yellow fever epidemic that has struck the city. He turned to his assistant as he boarded that stagecoach and said these words, "Write to the bishop and tell him I go to my death. It is my duty and I must go." 2 weeks later, he was dead in Shreveport of yellow fever. The epitaph on his marker in St. Matthew's churchyard today says these words, that this priest died a martyr to his charity.
The term martyr probably brings to mind violence or persecution suffered as a result of standing by your faith. But what if that violence or persecution is a disease? It doesn't come from human hands. Let's talk for a moment about witnessing death from yellow fever. This horrific disease begins with a general sense of malaise or even depression, a feeling that the person is too tired to carry on with their day. When this passes, the person is inflicted with a terrible fever, which often includes shakes, violent vomiting episodes, which contributes to the name black vomit. That is, the infected person has begun to vomit their own blood.
That's a very good point, Ryan. Just to think of these 5 priests there at the bedside of all of these people around them, taking care of them in their excruciating pain, what they must have endured, but also the psychology of it all, knowing that they too were about to suffer the same horrific death. So these are 5 unbelievably great, heroic men, and I would even say we need to be praying through their intercession as well.
So if we could bear witness to our first martyr of the yellow fever, Father Isidore Caramé, who came from France, age 26, no longer in this country, then he has to give his own life for his fellow children of God. And we have to think how remarkable that is today for a society that values the preservation of health and youth over all. That this young priest gave his life for others who were unknown to him for very long.
And you know, one of the most incredible aspects of this whole story is that each of these 5 priests arrived in time to take care of the priest that predeceased them in this epidemic. And it meant something perhaps more importantly than even that. That minor miracle that happened is also that Shreveport was never left without the sacraments. There was never a time when the Catholics of Shreveport would not have had access to the grace of the sacraments.
And I find particularly important how it is that the Catholics recognize their heroic virtue, as well as all the people of Shreveport. We're in wonder at what these men were willing to do on behalf of people whom they didn't even know. They were here, they suffered. Anyways, we really want more and more people to come to learn more about these 5 priests and what happened here in 1873. And so, as I mentioned a moment ago, next time you're in prayer, think of these priests, call upon their intercession, and ask for them to help you, especially when you're in moments of extreme difficulty.